What up, family? It's your favorite cousin, your favorite nephew, your favorite uncle, your favorite father, your favorite son, your best friend's best friend. It's me, Dr. Larry, and welcome to Living For You, the YouTube channel. This is a safe space and a positive place in which we come together, we grow together, we learn together, we invest with one another in order to better have a good journey, this journey that we're all on the same, and live life present and living the life that we deserve. So this is one of the best places you can be here, out here on these internet streets, to just be right here for this moment that we're sharing, engaging, and loving, simply loving on one another. Hi up, my family. I want to give a shout out to you. Those of you who have been loyal, faithful subscribers all year long. You have stuck with me and you have invited friends, and so we are growing. To those who are new family members, I want to welcome you and thank you for supporting me and supporting this channel and supporting this venture in spreading positivity out there in the world. But there are some of you who watched the video because as the watch time crossed 150,000 hours. So I know that there are people watching the videos. So if you are watching the videos and you have yet to subscribe, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become a family member. I'ma love you regardless. I love my family and I love all people. So I'll love you regardless, but you family, and you get that family love when you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. To those of you who've never seen me before, I am Dr. Larry Smith. I am a certified life and spiritual coach / entrepreneur / educator. There's a lot of slashes behind my name. But if you want to know more about me, you can actually go out to www.liveforyoucoaching.com. That is my business website. That is where I post sometimes blog posts, videos, but I also have all of the products that I offer, the free services that I offer, and a whole host of other things that might be useful to you at www.liveforyoucoaching.com. And if you want to follow me on social media, where I'm always active, I'm always posting every day, multiple times throughout the day, I am on social media. You can actually follow me on both Instagram and Facebook at Dr. Larry Smith. That's Facebook and Instagram at Dr. Larry Smith. So what's up, fam? I wanted to get on today because I was having conversations with people and we see a lot of different things. I watched and we saw Lil Nas X this year kind of blossom and in a bam, in a shocking way, be who he was. And we're watching people like NBA Youngboy and Lizzo and Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B and just all of these people and so many more that I can, Will and Jada Smith, I can think of so many people who are living their authentic truth. It is very much a brave thing if you are living your 100% authentic self. I am of the personal belief that being so far along in the centuries, I mean, we're in the 21st century. This is 2021. We are well into time as humans and humanity where there's access to so much information. Google is free. We can learn about anything. If something perplexes us or confuses us or leaves us wondering what it is, we can actually literally just go type it in the Google search engine and find out tons of information about it and become micro experts. Not saying you're an expert at it, but you know a lot more than average by simply just going and Google information on things you don't know. And so there is no reason in this day and age and in the future for us to be not allowing people to live in their authentic truth. It's also too far in this day and age for you to not be living in your authentic truth. Whoever you are, whatever you are, however you label yourself, classify yourself, whatever the case may be, it's been seen. It's been heard, it's been discovered, and it's been expressed. And so in this modern age, it is super important to live authentically, live honestly, live truthfully as to who you are in the space that you dwell. No, everybody's not going to accept it. Friends and family and other people might have things to say and might judge who you are. But at the end of the day, the one thing that matters the most is your own personal happiness. And if you are happy with who you are, if you are happy with living in your truth, then who am I or anybody else to judge, condemn, put down, and tell you you're wrong? You are absolutely right for living your authentic self. I had to learn this lesson myself. I grew up in very religious households. Period. You know, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I grew up in Catholicism, Jehovah's Witness, strict religious households. And so the moment I said I'm stepping out of that, people were looking at me like, what? What are you doing? You're treading into dangerous territories. But I studied religion. I went to college and got my doctorate in theology and learned a lot about religion. And I learned in the middle of that, of studying different spiritual paths and religious paths, I also learned things like learning about crystals and learning about the zodiac and learning about cosmology and astrology and astronomy and all of these different things, and learning about oils and incense and different things like that. And even went even further, learning about African tradition religions and Eastern Asia religions and Indian religions and Hindu and Buddhism and all of these things. And so my personal religious conviction, or should I say spiritual walk, was just whatever connected me to my higher self, to my higher God, to my higher being, to the highest force in all existence, to God. I was willing to go for it as long as it worked for me. And as soon as I made that decision to be authentically connected to who I wanted to be, people were like, oh, no, you're doing too much. They closed doors. People I grew up with, we talking 20, 30 years, y'all, were not even trying to deal with me because they were like, you're going too far. You're going too far. That's what happens when you be authentic. When you be true to yourself, it's going to make some people uncomfortable. But those people who really love you, those people who really accepted you from the beginning, those people who really own and hold you and care enough about you will always be around. You're not going to push them away just because you're not conforming to what they consider to be right and wrong or good and fair or the way these social constructs that we create are supposed to be. They're going to love you regardless. Those are the real ones. And so being your authentic self will help you to spot who's the real one. When you start living in your authentic truth, and the people who stay around and the people who continue to engage with you and still show you love and still have the highest and best for you, those are people who are your real down to earth, true and blue, solid people that you should keep in your life. But if you got friends who walk away, who no longer associate with you, who don't answer the phone anymore, who don't hit you up via email or Facebook or anything, or act as though you don't exist, you see where they were. And as Dr. Maya Angelou says so famously, when people show you who they are, believe them the first damn time. She didn't say damn, but I'm going to say damn, because I want to put a little emphasis on it. Believe them the first damn time when they show you who they are. Don't mourn that loss, because you lost something that wasn't for you by gaining something within you that is so important for you by being your authentic self. I am of the personal belief that you cannot truly experience the blessings, the goodness, the positivities, the positive energies of life being some other vessel. I have said this before, and this is my analogy that I use when I talk about being your authentic self. You were created to do things only you can do. You were created to express things on this planet that are needed that only you can express. If you were created as a cup to hold a certain amount of water, to give a certain amount of water, if you alter what the shape of that cup is, that cup will not hold the same amount of water or liquid that it was intended to hold. You have altered what that cup's purpose was, possibly reducing what that cup's purpose was. But if you allow that cup to just be as it was created, it's going to give you what it was intended to give you and live in its purpose. And that's the example and the analogy I use for us. We were created the way we were created, each of us uniquely with our own expressions. Yes, we have some commonalities and we share traits and features and talents and skills and callings and things with other people. But at the end of the day, can't nobody do you like you do you. Can nobody show up in your life and express to the world and to the people in your intermediate circle like you do? So if you're not there to do it, who is going to do it? There is no spice in life if we are all the same. There is no flavor to this journey we call life if we're all trying to fall into the same mold. That is unattractive, that is unappealing, that is not good, and that's not a world I want to live in. I want to live in a world with a Lil Nas X. I want to live in a world with a Lizzo, Will and Jada Smith. I want to live, even if it's people I don't fully understand and comprehend, like a Candace Owens. I don't mind living in a world with a Candace Owens. I can still disagree fundamentally with 99.9% of the things she says, but at the end of the day, She is entitled. If that is who she is authentically, then that is who she is authentically, and I accept and embrace and honor that existence of who she is. Whether or not I like it or not, it is not my place to pass my judgment and to make something right or wrong in somebody else's life. All my place is just to be here and to love people for who they are and how they show up authentically. So there's nothing wrong with being authentic. You know you are being your authentic self when you are comfortable making the decisions you make. You know you're being your authentic self when you do something and it resonates with you so deeply that you're impassioned by it. It's your passion. It's you. You're living your truth. You know, I always think of people like Picasso. You look at a Picasso painting, the Spanish painter Picasso, you guys know, lived in the early 20th century, you know Picasso. You go look at a Picasso's painting, and the paintings don't always make sense. They're abstract. They don't conform to normal structural things like shapes, like triangles and squares and circles and things that we see that makes it easy for us to digest art or portraits of people or things that seem a bit, you know, normal to us. Van Gogh broke that mold, and he just did kind of his own thing. And so sometimes his art seems, not Van Gogh, Picasso broke that mold, and sometimes his art seems a bit uncomfortable because it's abstract. We've labeled it abstract, which means different, out of shape, a little weird for us. But at the end of the day, it's beautiful, and it's unique, and it's his, and it's authentic. And now it sells millions of dollars worldwide and in museums all over the world because somebody got the sense that you don't have to fall into social conventions or fall into rules in order to be right. Rules sometimes are meant to be broken, and each rule is the creation of something that was not normal becoming normal. That's all a rule is. When you talk about a red light, right? You know, red lights, stoplights, those are laws, those are rules that you must stop on red. Do you think we were born, the earliest humans were looking at red saying that means stop, or they were looking at green saying that means go? No. At some point, that unusual circumstance became the norm, and we started to do things like lights and other things with it. So now when we think about red, we do think about stopping. When we do think about green, we do think about going, because that once unusual thing that was not a social norm or was not a norm in our society, over years became a norm. Everything ultimately becomes norm. You know, so why spend time trying to fight so hard to fit into a category that you don't fit into, when eventually who you are is going to ultimately be accepted, because people are not going to have a choice. And if they choose not to accept you, that ain't got nothing to do with you. You just be you. Be authentic. Stand on your truth. Sit in your truth. Live in your truth. Be who you are. To me, that's the most important gift you can give the world, is to show up and be you. When I get in front of this camera, that is what I try to do. I be me. I talk me. I do me. Sometimes I be sweating, you know, because it's hot as hell in here, but I'm still coming up in front of you, just being who I am. And you either like it or love it or leave it. That's how it goes. But I'm going to always live in my truth. And I submit to my people listening, my family, be you. I love you as you. Not as who I want you to be. Not as what society says you should be. You should be exactly who you feel like you should be. And if society doesn't love it, that's their fault. Because you're a gift. Every person on this planet is a unique expression and a gift to this planet, because we give things that only we can give. You give things that only you can give. And if you're not there to give it, or if you're trying to conform to what's normal or what people think is right and wrong, you will never fully authentically give your gift, and you are doing the world, humanity, living and breathing people a disservice. That's it. That's it. I wanted to get on here and just talk about that, because living authentically kept popping up in my head. So I was like, that means I need to talk about it if it keeps coming up and up and up in my head. So I did. So family, just be you. Be authentic. Live your authentic truth. You are beautiful and you are loved. As I always say here, I love you all with the highest love possible, beyond the moon and cosmos and everything else. And as I always say, I will see you in the next video.